Your muscles don't grow when you hope they will. They grow when you force them to. When you hit a plateau, you need to fix your nutrition and then you need to add weight, even 5 to 10 pounds. The truth is that you tell your muscles what to do, not the other way around. And this is going to be some really funny advice because this advice changed my life. It kind of pisses me the fuck off. And this is the reason why. There's a story behind it. So when I was working out, this was back when I first got to my tech school and I hadn't really started my bulk phase yet, but I was in a plateau for a while. I had gotten out of boot camp and the nutrition in boot camp was actually pretty exceptional. It was pretty good. And I had gotten stronger, but I reached a plateau. And there was this buff black guy that I saw in the gym, bro. Dude looked like a straight Tyrone, like picture perfect Tyrone Chad guy. Tatted up, had the fade, and dude was just swole. You could tell that he could have been a natural bodybuilder easy. And I walk up to him and I said, yeah, man, how long you been lifting? We just had a conversation. It was cool. It turned out this guy was a sergeant. And, I asked him for advice. I'm like, man, I'm like plateauing, dude. Like, what do you think I should do? And he gave me the answer that really pissed me off. But at the same time, it kind of gave me hope because it was just one of those conventional wisdom advices that makes you feel like this guy, it was like wash 7 times in the lake of Siloam type beat, right? He said, bro, you just got to force that shit, bro. And I looked at him, I'm like, I can't because I just said I plateaued. He said, I know, bro. Listen, you just got to force that shit, G. And I'm thinking, okay, well, this was educational. This was a waste of time. But you know what? I thought to myself, maybe he's right. So I remember exactly what exercise that I plateaued on. It was the lying rear delt flies. That's what it was. And I could only do 40 pounds for some reason. Either it was 40 or 45 pounds. And I would do it for 8 reps. And I did the 40 pounds for 8 reps like normal. I'm like thinking, okay. It felt like when I did it, I reached like the brink of my being. Like it felt like I went to slight failure because the last 2 sets were actually very hard. I picked up the 45s. I followed his advice. I added 5 pounds and then I hit it and I hit it for 8 freaking reps. The 8 reps did not feel good. It didn't feel like I had the energy in my muscles to do it. And sometimes I tell you the truth, you just have to force it because sometimes it may feel like your muscles don't have the energy, but they do. It's just all in your head. You have to force your shit to grow. Once I did that, I picked up the 50s. I did 8 reps. I didn't know that I had it in me. I genuinely didn't know. But that mindset, I remember, it's like I lost who I was. That's the type of person I always was when I came down to fitness. I just forgot it because I was in boot camp for so long, for 7 weeks, and I just forgot who I was when it came down to resistance training. I've always been that person. I've always been the person who will force his shit to grow. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm gonna start bragging right now and ranting early in this video. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to force my shit to grow. I'm gonna put more goddamn weight on the bar. That's why I use dumbbells because I know that I can't really be my true self when I'm under a barbell because I could possibly kill myself. I'm that type of lifter. I'm that type of guy. That's why I use calisthenics because I like to rehab my joints because I know that I'll destroy them. You have to have that mindset. You have to force your shit to grow. I forgot about that. And me and him, we had the same gym brain, but I kind of forgot mine. And when he told me that advice and he said, you need to force that shit to grow, it hurt my ego a bit, but I realized he was right. Later, I went back and I thanked him. I said, thanks, because I actually got out of the plateau. You were right the whole time. Long story short, I was being a bitch and I didn't want an overload because I thought I needed to be like these functional fitness guys with man buns and shit online doing lightweight all the time when you really don't. If you really want to make your nuts drop and put some hair on your chest, add some weight, and we're going to talk about it in this video because my name's Chike and I've been consistent for 11 years in the gym. And as you can see, I built a really aesthetic body. I built a strong physique. I had the abs. I had the chest. Maybe I'll stand up and show you the legs real quick. Got my Gymshark shorts on. I got the legs, bro. All right. We ain't got to worry about my calves, though. We ain't got to worry about my calves, okay? You can just keep your eyes focused on my chest and my upper abs real quick. You ain't got to worry about my calves right now. But as you can see, I built this physique over the span of 11 years. And it's because I've been consistent for 11 years that I have this physique. I struggle to eat right every night. I struggle to stay consistent on my routine when life gets chaotic. I struggle between managing my life in the military, between YouTube and between fitness and becoming a gym rat and being as strong as I possibly can. But through all this, I've learned a lot. I learned how to manage my energy, not just my time. I learned how to bulk up without having to count every single calorie that goes into my mouth. I learned how to fall in love with training again and not making it a burden on my consciousness, ruining my gains and ruining my enthusiasm for the gym. I've learned how to take breaks from fitness without feeling guilt and actually making it productive and coming back stronger. Because this channel is not about perfection. It's about progress, it's about pain, and it's about purpose. My vision is to make fitness an attainable lifestyle built on psychology, motivation, and flow. It's not about having a rigid diet and a rigid routine and rigid training programs. It's about finding flow and continuity between fitness, making it a lifelong change, changing who you are as a person. My goal is to turn you into a gym rat. I'm here to silence all the gimmicks and all the analysis paralysis. You feel like you need to do this shoulder routine with the Roman Mediterranean deadlift shoulder press type shit. Listen, you don't need to do all that stuff, bro. You don't have to play with kettlebells. You don't have to play with dumbbells. You can do it if you want to, but I'm here to tell you the truth about fitness, because if you don't know the truth about fitness, you're never going to grow, because you're not going to get this physique until you become a gym rat. And I know that you may not even want to be as muscular as me. You may have this somewhat kind of unambitious, but it's okay, some kind of unambitious mindset about getting a physique like this. That's fine. I'm here to tell you that if you still don't have the gym rat mindset, you're not going to achieve it. You're not going to get what you want. You're not going to reach your full potential or even half of your potential. And that's what this video and that's what my channel is about. I'm here to turn you into a gym rat. And that's why I'm here to let you know, you gotta force that shit to grow, G. I'm just gonna let you know that right now. And I'm gonna teach you the mindset that it takes when it comes down to lifting and fitness. And this applies to calisthenics, this applies to powerlifting, and this applies to hypertrophy and bodybuilding movements. This can apply to cardio. This can apply to HIIT training, every sort of training. Anything you do in life, you have to force yourself to grow. You need to just add on more weight. My first point is that you need to treat your body like a machine. You need to treat your body like it's a dang on Chinese factory. That's what you need to treat it like, okay? Not trying to be offensive, but you have to treat your body like that, because I've treated my body like this my entire life. It's gotten to the growth that it has. Now, don't forget about recovery. Don't injure yourself, but it's about being smart about it. So what's a practical way that you can be smart about it? Every single time you do a weight, forget about your feelings, forget about everything, unless you emptied out your bladder hitting that squat PR. Okay, unless you really felt like you're on the brink of death, you're going to add 5 to 10 pounds. If you're using dumbbells, you're going to add 5 to 10 pounds. Every single time you do a lift and you complete the minimum rep range requirement, for me, on strength building days, it's 5 reps, it's 5 to 6 reps. You can be 4 to 6 for you if you want. It's 5 to 6. On my bodybuilding movements, on my hypertrophy movements, it's 8 to 12 reps. If I complete 8 reps or if I complete 5 reps, I move up in weight. That's it. Sometimes if I do 10 reps, I move up in weight. It just depends on the rep range that you want to choose for whatever movement that you're doing based on your goal. You have to treat your body like a machine. You have to stop caring about how you feel. Oh, my shoulders hurt. Oh, my chest hurt. My triceps hurt. Good. Like the weeks, the amount of, you have no idea. I'm gonna talk about myself for a minute. I know this is about you, but I'm gonna talk about myself for a minute. I am so used to muscle damage that the soreness that I feel doesn't even exist anymore. So there are times when I don't feel sore after the gym, after a night of sleep, after just a single night of rest. My body has adapted to destroying my muscle fibers for so long that I'm the goddamn Wolverine when it comes down to muscle damage. I literally feel nothing. The days when, in the weeks when I actually feel it, for 2 days, 3 days, I feel really good about myself. Recently, I had a tricep workout and I switched up my routine, right? Because you should switch up your routine. I say stick to a routine for 2 to 3 months, but switch it up. I switched it up. I started doing more hypertrophy. I hit my muscle damage. I felt my triceps for 3-4 days. I knew I did my job because I forced my shit to grow. There were times when I could not do reps. I couldn't even lock out my arms anymore. That's the point you need to get to. But the point is that you need to treat your body like a machine. You need to treat it like it's math and just work the numbers. But you cannot forget about recovery. Eat how you're supposed to eat and get the protein in that you're supposed to get in your body. And the way that you can do that, you're gonna think that it's by following this 4,000 calorie, 5,000 calorie bulk that you see these geared up teenagers online tell you to do and, you know, fuck up your life trying to be an influencer. It's not. It's about eating at the same time every day and following the principles that I have in my videos. Eat at the same time so that you make sure that you get your nutrition in. Stop giving a fuck about you trying to compensate for meals that you missed. Eat at the same time. Okay, if you miss a meal, move on. Okay, maybe you can eat a little bit more for lunch or dinner that day. That's fine. Just make sure that it's the same freaking time every day because you want to build a rhythm. Okay, I'm not going to talk too much about that. I talk a lot about that in my videos. My next point is that when you're overloading and you're treating your body like a machine, do not use barbells without a spotter. Use dumbbells. I still use dumbbells for strength days. Okay, me hitting dumbbells for strength is what blew up my chest. Me hitting dumbbells for DB flat press with strength movements and hypertrophy movements is what got me the chest that I have. Okay, yes, I did barbell benching. Yes, I benched for a long time when I was playing football. I'm not saying barbells don't do the work, but the reason why I say use dumbbells when you're pushing yourself to the brink of destruction, okay, when you're trying to become the god of destruction that you want to be, use dumbbells because that's the way that you can safely overload and fail without crushing your windpipe. Okay, that's the way that you can safely overload without losing all your runes and losing all your aura in front of the girl with the gym cake in the gym and then being banished and exiled from that gym as far as aura goes for the rest of your gym lifting career. Okay, you're gonna have to move to a new town because you was trapped under 185 on that bench set with no spotter, trying to follow my advice saying put on 5 more pounds, 10 more pounds, hyping you up without a spotter. Go use dumbbells. That's why I like to use dumbbells, because I don't work out with other people. I don't work out in groups. You may be that guy where you feel like you need to work out in a group with a gang or a squad. If you do, make sure it's with people that are stronger than you, that are actually serious, because you may be that guy. And most guys, I see most guys do this, where they just come to the gym just to fuck around because it's 4 guys that are beginners at the gym. You have 4 beginners at the gym, they're not gonna accomplish shit, okay? They're just gonna mess around. So use dumbbells so that you can overload safely and that you can save yourself from being crushed. And the rule of thumb that I use is this: if you're doing compound movements like the incline press, the DB flat press, RDLs, or any sort of compound lift, and if you wanna find out if it's a compound lift, I do have an exercise form guide library in my course, but you can just also ChatGPT it or Google it. You can like find out through that. Do strength building with those movements. If you're doing bodybuilding lifts, things that isometrically isolate a muscle group, use hypertrophy movements. And a rule of thumb that I say is this: small muscles get bodybuilding movements. My biceps, my shoulders and shit, and my abs, my calves, and my hamstrings, even though hamstrings are a larger muscle, get bodybuilding movements. And that can be another video, but that's the rule of thumb for that. But overload like this with dumbbells. And the third point that I want to make is this: other workouts can build other movements, okay? Because when I tell you to force your muscles to grow, this is the reason why I say this, is because when you have that mindset, when you get really good at a freaking movement, you're gonna find out that when you do another movement, your strength got incredibly better. For example, when I did the heavy back machine movement, when I overloaded that shit, all of a sudden I could do a 1-arm pull-up. I could do a 1-arm pull-up. I just did like a freaking party trick. I didn't even know that I could do that because I overloaded. Other workouts build upon each other. So when you start forcing yourself to grow, you see that forced progression, because genuinely it may feel like your muscles don't have energy, but they do. The other workouts you do get better. You need to start falling in love with seeing your body grow, with seeing yourself grow. And you need to know that your back day can affect your leg day. Your push day can affect your other workouts on your push day, and your pull day can also affect how strong your back is. Your entire body affects each other. You see my abs right now, right? I don't even really hit abs that much at all. It's because I do calisthenics and other movements. When you force yourself to grow in other movements benefit from it too. There was a time when I just did DB flat presses. I did DB flat presses, and because of that, my bench press skyrocketed. I could only do 100 pounds on the DB flat press, and then when I worked my way to be able to hit 120 pounds for 6 reps regularly, 125 pounds for 6 reps regularly, I was able to hit 315 finally. You have to like use dumbbells and do other movements and just force yourself to grow in those things. But the main point that I want to make is, bro, you gotta add that shit on. Bro, you gotta add 5 to 10 pounds. You think that you need to wait for your muscles to feel good. You think that. I know you do. If you've been eating right and you know that you get your protein in, but you feel like you plateau, switch to something safe that you can do and force it. Add 5 pounds. Tell your muscles what to do. Work out like a machine. Work out like you're a mindless machine that does your own bidding and does what you command, and see growth. If you want to find out how to manage your 9 to 5 and how to do everything and manage your life and manage your energy and get into the flow state of fitness so that you can stay consistent for 10 years like me, check out the top link in the description, or just continue watching my videos for free. If you want to learn more, go ahead and click on this video. Goodbye.